Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Kehelathah during the 40 years in the wilderness from the second book of redemptive history series, The Covenant of the Torch. When we look in Numbers 33 verse 22, during the 40 years in the wilderness, the 18th campsite that the Israelites stayed in was Kehelathah. This was the 4th campsite after the Israelites were sentenced to 40 years of wandering in the wilderness at Rithmah. The meaning of Kehelathah is assembly or gathering. First, at Kehelathah, Israelites must have gathered together by God's sovereign work to worship God in the tabernacle. There are no biblical or historical records of what exactly happened at Kehelathah. However, when we examine the meaning of Kehelathah, which is assembly or gathering, we can presume that the divided hearts of the Israelites were gathered together so that they may worship as one in the tabernacle. When they were in the 14th campsite, Rithmah, they disobeyed the command of God to go up to the land of Canaan. And so they received the punishment of wandering the wilderness for 40 years. At that time, the Israelites grumbled against God. But when they passed Libnah, the 16th campsite, they were purified and made white. At Risa, the 17th campsite, they were broken and crushed to fragments. In such way, their arrogant self were completely broken, and they realized their sins and they repented. God did not stop there. God has given the Israelites the heart to gather together and to worship God. God wanted the Israelites to repent and become united in their hearts in living a worship-centered life together. Worshiping together as a congregation is the emblem of a godly life and the basis of a Christian life. Furthermore, it is through worship that we meet God and experience His amazing solutions to our issues. Today, God is looking for people who worship in spirit and truth. In John chapter 4, verses 23 to 24, it says, "Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and His worshipers must worship in the Spirit and in truth." Second, as the end time draws closer, saints have to do everything in their power to gather and worship God together. In Hebrews 10, verses 24 to 25, it says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." This word tells us that as the end time draws nearer, the saints will have a harder time gathering and worshiping together. However, we should not give up, and we should continue to seek our God and strive and do everything in our power to gather together to worship Him. And so when we are gathered, united in our hearts, then even if we may be a small number, God will be there with us, and we will experience God's amazing solutions to all of our problems. In Matthew chapter 18, verses 19 to 20, it says, "Again I say to you, that if 2 of you agree on earth about anything that they may ask, it shall be done for them by my Father who is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst." Beloved saints, today let us hope for the day we can freely worship God together. And by being thankful, let us all have a blessed day moving forward to our God. I bless in the name of the Lord.